Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, Sergio, Floyd Mayweather has thrown down the gauntlet, and Ryan Garcia has responded. In an interview with Fight Hype, Mayweather, the lead promoter for Gervonta Davis, said a fight between Davis and Garcia could be made, but only at 135 pounds. Garcia responded on social media, saying it's anytime, any place, and any weight for a fight with Davis. Sergio, we are less than 2 weeks removed from Garcia vowing to never fight at 135 pounds again. Is it a good idea or a bad idea for Garcia to face Tank at 135?
It's a bad idea, Mannix, because Ryan Garcia is a growing boy, man. I'm telling you, he's 23 years old. He's 5'11", and he filled out 140 pounds really nicely. He has the wide shoulders, he has the height, the width, the reach, he has everything. So he's growing. It's smart for him to stay at 140, and we know what he did at 140. He destroyed a former champion in Javier Fortuna. I know the reason Tank wants him to come down, because fluctuating in weight for a taller fighter is always dangerous. It happens all the time in boxing. You go up in weight, you look sensational, drop back down in weight, and the dehydration, it gets to you. I think the smart thing to do for Garcia is to stay at 140, but the smart business thing to do for Mayweather Promotions and Tank is to get all the advantages on their side.
Well, Sergio, I'm old enough to remember all the way back in June when Bam Rodriguez knocked out Srisaket Rungvisai. And in the aftermath of that win, you declared that Bam Rodriguez should drop down to 112 pounds, even though he just filled out nicely and dominated for the second time at 115 pounds. So my question for you is, what's the difference? Ryan Garcia just fought for the first time as a full-fledged 140-pounder against Javier Fortuna. There's no question, there is no future for Ryan Garcia at 135 outside of Tank Davis. But for Tank Davis, it is absolutely a good idea for Ryan to go back to 135. He is just 23 years old. His body can handle cutting those extra 5 pounds for that fight. And after that fight, win or lose, you're done with 135. Because Sergio, if Ryan holds his ground, or if Golden Boy holds that ground, it says this fight only happens at 140 and Tank doesn't happen, what else is out there for him? Right now, Top Rank controls all the top players at 140 pounds. So Ryan is not getting Teofimo Lopez. He's not getting Josh Taylor. He's not getting Jose Ramirez. He could probably get Regis Prograis, but I doubt the Golden Boy's putting Ryan in with Regis Prograis at this point of his career. So there are no viable options for Ryan Garcia at 140. Maybe you can say Jojo Diaz can move up the weight again. You can make that fight. It's in-house. Whatever. It's not a Tank fight. I think it's a great idea for Ryan to cut that weight, go back to 135, and based on your reaction to Bam Rodriguez, I'm surprised to hear you don't think it's a great idea too.
You make some good points, and of course you always make terrible points. The difference in jumping up in weight in smaller weight classes is it's only 3 pound weight difference. When you look at 105 to 108, 108 to 112 is 4 pounds, 112, 115, 118, whatever. It's 3 or 4 pounds max. Once you pass welterweight, once you go into 147, you're talking about 7 pound difference from 140, 147. 7 pounds from 147, 54, 160, 168, 8 pounds, and it gets higher and higher because it benefits the taller man. So when you go north in weight, it goes south in career, if that makes sense, because that's just the way it goes. You got to listen to your body. When you're already accustomed to making that weight and it hits you mentally and you felt what it felt like, you don't want to drop back down and dehydrate not only your body, but you're going to dwindle the momentum that you had going forward, going north. As I said, it's gonna benefit Tank. He's 5'5". He's a little Tank. He knows how to fight small. It's gonna be to his advantage. Now, the good point you make is, I don't wanna see this fight off the table. So if it takes a little shenanigans and business decisions and risk from a young man that could still fluctuate in weight in a healthy manner, then yes, I'll agree with you there. But if he wants to make the smart business decision, stay at 140.
Yeah, but Sergio, it's not the smart business decision to stay at 140. It's absolutely not, because you stay at 140 and there are no big fights out there for the foreseeable future.
Longevity.
Until, say, okay, he's 23 years old, Sergio. He drops those 5 pounds, he can get a career-defining fight. Again, I'm old enough to remember when a guy I'm on this show with dropped weight to go to 154 to fight for a world title, a weight class that you were not comfortable in, Sergio, and you went out there and had the biggest win of your career against Vernon Forrest.
Look, certain times it makes sense. Like I said, I was fighting an older fighter in Vernon Forrest, and I was young enough to still make that weight. Okay, I'm giving you that. He's 23 years old. He can take those he can take those risks, and he can fluctuate. And yes, it's the biggest fight, and we don't want to see it off the table. All that makes sense. But one bad loss, and you know, Tank, I mean, he's dangerous. He's very dangerous. He's powerful. He can end your career, pretty much. He can really beat you up and not get that confidence back. Let's just say Garcia goes down in weight and loses badly. How about if that's the end of him? Then, looking back in retrospect, we're all going to say, man, he could have had so much of a career at 140, maybe even 147. Do something Oscar De La Hoya did, another tall, lanky fighter, win divisions, championships in 6 divisions. The taller you are, the greater you can be, the higher north you go. Tommy Hearns, another great example. These guys could fill out that weight. Ryan Garcia could fill it out going up, not down.
Yeah, Tommy Hearns went up and down in weight, went from 154 to 175. He took on the tough challenges when they were put in front of him. I don't know why you don't want Ryan Garcia at 23 years old to take on the tough challenges. You mentioned Oscar De La Hoya took on the tough challenges at 135 before moving up in weight. This is what boxing is. You take on tough challenges and big challenges when they're presented to you.